Hey guys, how's it going? Sai here, back with another BlizzCon 2017 announcement with what changes are coming with the Battle of Azeroth. They went ahead and went over some of the PvP changes, and I thought I would go ahead and um, bring them to light for people who haven't seen it and just do a little discussion on it. First of all, before we get into the PvP, I wanted to thank Blizzard for all the work that they do to put this game together and give us, something for us to enjoy within our time, our lives. Without them, we wouldn't have this game to either love or hate. So that's right, trolls. Better be thankful, because without Blizzard, you'd have nothing to troll. First thing I wanted to go over is like they've come up with some beautiful new sceneries and the new islands that we get to go to. Everything from the art to the story, it takes time and effort, and just wanted to highlight that some of these new areas just look fantastic. Alright, so the first topic I want to jump into on the PvP aspect are island expeditions. We'll be able to explore the Great Sea, get into uncharted islands, and it's going to be a three-player cooperative gameplay experience. We'll be battling against the Alliance or the Horde, whichever you are, and you'll be doing skirmishes over resources that will be required in the game to get certain objectives. There's going to be an RTS style aspect later on, and I'm guessing that some of these resources will lead towards that. There's a resource called Azerite, I believe it's called, and we'll be using that to upgrade a new legendary artifact, a necklace, an amulet that's going to act kind of like our weapons currently, our artifact weapons, but it's going to be changed and it'll add a little more diversity from what they discussed. But I'll get into that into another video. But yeah, we'll be able to complete varied and dynamic objectives, three-player cooperative, and from my understanding, we'll be able to do possible PvP for these resources, so we'll actually be fighting over them. It's going to bring back the good old days of Horde versus Alliance trying to hold territories within the world to get bonuses and such like that. And I truly miss the dynamic of PvP and PvE interspersed throughout the world, making it, like a joint story. Like the PvP aspect actually means something in the world. Because, I mean, when you break it all down, yes, over the past few expansions, we've become more of allied forces, Horde working with Alliance to get rid of the greater, or for the greater good. But now that we're back to being at each other's throats, the PvP aspect being a main focus of the story, it really excites me because it's going to be PvE, PvP. Everyone's going to get a slice of the cake within this expansion. No one should be feeling left out. And I hope that's truly what Blizzard brings to the table, is a good joint story to tie those two together. Now the next topic I want to jump on to is Warfronts. It might not be quite the PvP experience that I'm looking to discuss in the video, but it's something I wanted to touch on because those resources I believe will be going towards these. They're large-scale conflicts that are going to be RTS style, like Warcraft 3. And if you don't know what that is, it's a a base building, troop gathering game style, and apparently it's going to be 20-player versus NPC armies. Now, what that exactly means, I don't know. They didn't go too deep into it. But if it's going to be a 20-player cooperative, you're building a base, trying to do this, and lead this army onto a warfront, it's going to be really interesting to see, and it'll be almost like a mini game within the game. Something that you can actually go do instead of this gathering troops and just sending them off on a mission, wait 6 hours, come back, pick up what you looted from it. Actually adding a more hands-on experience can, I think, increase the longevity of this expansion, because people will be like, okay, I'm not raiding, I'm not doing this, let's go play this RTS. It's a completely different game style. It's gonna give you that breather from playing the MMO that World of Warcraft is, and it'll be really interesting to be able to play that. On the other hand, I hope that it won't be too integral where it's gonna force people to have to do it in order to keep that for sure lead. Because in the past, yes, it helped, it gave you that boost, but you could work your way up regardless. You could do it through world quests, through actually playing the game. The other was just a side thing. Now, if they add anything to do with like a phone app, so you can do it on the go, that'll be even crazier. But I think this will be more of a actual in-game experience. And again, sorry, it really wasn't much on PvP. I mean, it's kind of cooperative. It'll be interesting to see where we go with it. And sounds like a lot of fun, to be honest. Now on to the actual PvP updates we're looking for. They are adding 2 new arenas into the game, also a battleground being Seething Shore. Seething Shore is going to be a very interesting new BG experience because they're implementing a new game style. I'll get into that here in a little bit. The whole integral PvP is going to be Horde and Alliance descending onto Silithus, as it reads there. It is Azerite, as I mentioned earlier. That's the resource that we're looking to fight over and keep. It's going to have dynamic control point gameplay, which is discussing the Seething Shore, which is going to be amazing. I'll bring up a map here. And they're allowing us to preview it in 7.3.5, so we don't even have to wait for the next expansion to come out. We're going to get a hands-on experience and get to see what's going on. I believe they're going to be integrating... it'd be interesting to see if they integrate more of a PvP experience, kind of like they did the beginning of Legion with all the invasions. If they integrate world PvP events to lead us into the game, because they did say that the expansion is going to be taking place, the story in the beginning of it is going to be immediately after that cinematic we saw. So the fight is going on, you know. So it's going to be really cool to see if they integrate those instance PvP sections there. Now, here's the map of Seething Shore. As you can see, it has these different nodes, these crystals, which is the Azerite. And what it's going to do is, being a dynamic control point style game, is they mention that 3 of these points on the map are going to be up at any given time, and you're going to be fighting over them. And the thing is, they change, so you could gather all the resources in that location, it empties, you know, and then a new one pops up. So you know, Horde or Alliance, you're going to be not only racing the clock to see if you can get there faster than the other group, but then you're going to be fighting each other once you're there to try to hold it to get the resources. And it's going to have a lot of strategy, because think about it, if you have your whole team at one side of the map and, you know, the other team might not have fought that one, but the next node pops up somewhere else, like say Horde's all the way here on the left side and the next node pops up on the right and the Alliance is sitting in the middle mostly and only send a few forces, they're going to have a lot easier time getting over there. So it's going to be interesting to see if they the meta, the strategy that's going to go into this place, whether it's going to be a lot of split pushing. I feel like it's going to get rid of a lot of those wrecking ball crews that just, you know, go from point to point to point, because you do have to keep it, you have to stand on it, and the points will be changing. So by the time the wrecking ball might get to the next location, it might be either almost empty, you know, not even worth the time to go slaughter the people. So it'll be really interesting to see what the strategy and what the new meta is going to be within this BG, and I'm super excited to try it out. Now, if you guys made it to the end of this video already, awesome, because here's the last point and the main one I wanted to focus on. World PvP changes. They're completely changing the rule set from PvP, because they've had the same one since 2005, and it made it really hard to integrate PvP within the world. With all the new expansions that have come out and the way they try to streamline everything, they are looking to remove PvE and PvP server division. You're going to be able to now, because currently what it is like, say I'm on a PvE server, and if I flag myself for PvP, I'm a character who's PvP flagged on a PvE server, so everyone can just see me running around. It's not really that big of an experience. Sometimes you'll run into someone who's also flagged, and you'll fight, awesome. Sometimes other people flag, but for the most part, people just don't want to do that. But now, when you flag yourself for PvP, it's sounding like they're going to, you know, instance you into a PvP-driven server. So everyone within that area will be flagged for PvP. So you will have that world PvP experience that you're looking for. You know, around every corner there could be an alliance or horde who's looking to smoke your ass and snag that mining node out from underneath you. Um, just that sounds super entertaining to me, as well as the fact that if you're PvE, you know, not flagged for PvP, you will be within the PvE realm. You're not going to have to worry about accidentally hitting somebody and getting yourself flagged for PvP and such like that, or accidentally healing someone who might be flagged and it's going to flag you and just cause a whole big ass headache. So this dividing the PvE and PvP is going to be really, really awesome. We'll be able to have that world PvP experience uh, regardless of being on a PvP server or not. So it's going to be up to the individual to opt in. Now, what they also mention is, why would you want to do world PvP? You know, unless you are a PvPer, you know, gathering resources and doing all these extra things like in Legion, it just becomes a headache because you're just going to die and won't be able to get to do anything. You know, it's going to be just big battles. They're implementing bonuses to offset the efficiency. So like in dungeons, when they need more healers or tanks, yeah, DPS never sees that. You get extra loot for running instances with people, you know, running as a healer or a tank as needed. They're going to give bonuses for running everything on a PvP setting. You know, whether it's going to be a few resources, a few honor, you know, something. They haven't really described what, but just the fact of getting a bonus interests me. World PvP just interests me. The issue is how are they going to balance it? Because right now, World PvP is just a clusterfuck of, you know, uselessness. Tanks rule it. Tanks really do rule it. When you can walk up to a bear tank who has 12 million HP and can smack you for over 2 million HP, 2 million damage with a swipe, you kind of shit yourself because they're taking way less damage than you. I mean, yes, I can hit them for 3 million HP. Oh, they hit a defensive. They're down. I'm only hitting for like 1 million. Oh, there's another defensive. Oh, they just melted my face like it was nothing. Yeah. I hate you, tanks. But no, no, no. So it'll be interesting to see how they actually balance it, or if there's going to be more groups running around, you know, tanks, DPS, healers. Maybe they'll flatline the damages and stop, like, nerfing them in PvP situations so much. Let's see if they can do a damage balance, because again, it seems like they did do a pullback on the damage a few xpacs ago, to where damage wasn't as high, you know, a number crunch. It'll be interesting to see if they go ahead and do that again. I think it's almost called for in order to just make world PvP viable. Pull in the numbers, not nerf the numbers. You know, make it balanced to where you're doing damage which won't hurt in world PvP. But again, that would be a lot of number crunching, a lot of, you know, calculating what would work in PvE and PvP. So we'll see where the world PvP goes, see if it's even going to be worth it, if we're just going to see tanks dominating again. But really excited for the changes, and I want to see more of it, especially since this expansion seems like it's going to be PvP oriented, Alliance versus Horde, Horde versus Alliance. And I cannot wait to run it with you guys. You know, really, really excited for this, especially since, you know, being an avid PvPer. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully some of this information, you know, strikes home with you guys. Leave some comments below. Like and subscribe if you haven't. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about these changes that have popped up. Anyway, guys, as always, I enjoyed making the video, and hopefully you enjoyed it too. I'll catch you in the next one. Later.